What's up guys, Electro here. Today, we're reviewing the zombie apocalypse, better known as the Eternal Death. In this video, I will pronounce it as the Eternal Death, not the zombie apocalypse. And just to clarify, I don't dislike any of the Eternal Death Season 2 episodes at all. Like, I really do like all of them. That's better. Last thing before I start the ranking, this guy's like a grinder. He literally created 2 full seasons of in total 16 episodes in a little more than a year. That's literally insane. Okay, let's start. Number 8, we have episode 2. Wait. My number 8 spot, I've chosen episode 2. Episode 2 surely doesn't get the best of luck in these types of videos, that's for sure. But this time, it's not because the episode is bad. The only reason it's number 8 is because I enjoyed the other 7 episodes a little more. I mean, I did really like the introduction of Jeffrey and Alec. I mean, look at those dudes. Nick and Scott are like, guys, there's a big evil gang chasing us and we need your help. Alec and Jeffrey are like, I cook chicken. Who cooks chicken? You roast chicken. And I mean, this episode was really sad because our good friend Kenneth died. And I also really liked Sam meeting Greg and Brock.
Hello? Hi.
Is everything okay?
Yeah, why? Never mind.
On number 7, we have episode 3. This episode starts off with the sad realization that Kenneth got bit. After this, we see Nick, Scott, Jeffrey and Alec on the rooftop when they encounter some of the gang members. One of the gang members is Hunter.
Traitor.
And they have a little fight. But somewhere along the fight, Hunter says this.
I know you tried to kill Sheriff.
Where Scott is like, oh shit, someone got me, let's deny it. But then... If you don't know anymore, Sheriff is that a really stupid cop who just lets Scott hit him like that. I mean, how stupid are you? Well anyways, Alex sees that they need to flee, so they flee. Meanwhile, the gang is planning an attack on the group because they want to kill them. Nick is the only one they want alive because he said this.
Okay. Him and Barry had the same backpack. And he was killed somehow. So we thought he did it and stole his backpack. It wasn't him. It was me.
And then this dude comes into the scene, totally not the leader of the gang or something, and tells the gang members to lure them to a street so they can ambush the group. Scott, Nick, Alec and Jeffrey meet up with some other people from the group and hear the news from Kenneth.
Guys!
Right after that, Hawk and
Jason!
tell them that they need to go to the exact street at a time so they can fight it out. I mean, how great. They probably don't have any dirty tricks up their sleeve. So Nick and the group accept the offer and prepare for war. I thought it was such a cool episode, but it's more or less a build-up episode. And that means that the episode where it was built up to is probably more fun and epic to watch. I never saw the return of Sheriff coming, and I liked the little fight at the beginning. I gotta be honest, ranking the episodes was already hard, but now it's getting even harder to rank. My number 6 spot is episode 1. I love the episode, also because I'm someone who loves season premieres. The only reason it's not higher is because the other episodes were a little better. I love the Kenneth, Jim, Logan moments.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
And also the fact that it starts off slow. I typically like more slow and explaining season premieres. This is why I think this was just great. But like I said, I thought other episodes were a little better. So let's move on. Number 5, and I hate to say this, but it's episode 6. I have nothing against the episode. Heck, one of my favorites, and I mean my favorite for at least the first half season of season 1 characters, is in here. First off, I love Jordan, for how long he was in the series at least. Because damn, he was in the series for ages. Okay, but with all seriousness, I think it's a really awesome episode. We see Michael have flashbacks about the things he got through, and we see how Jordan shows him that he shouldn't be mad at Nick. And I mean, this is just great. I think it's also really a plus when Michael bats the crooks down. I mean, it's just so badass. But it was a really good episode, and the only reason why this wasn't higher is because the other episodes that are higher had a little more action and variety in characters. Don't get me wrong, I love episodes where the story is mainly / fully focused on one person, and I think this episode was great and necessary. And the only criticism I have for this episode was that it's pretty short in comparison to other episodes. I would have loved some kind of little flashback to maybe the time where Nick wasn't yet in the group and how life was before. Now let's go on to number 4. My number 4 spot is episode 7, and like I said earlier, the episodes are really hard to rank, so I just want to say that this was really hard to do. In this episode we see some gang members report to Hawk that they captured some people from the group. Hawk tells them they did good, and tells the other gang members that they will keep them hostage and that the others can maybe surrender like that. This actually shows how good of a person Hawk actually is. One of the gang members in particular is not pleased by this though, and eventually calls Hawk Hawk now tells him to repeat what he said, and after the gang member does this, he gets smacked the out. That was really nice to see, so now we go back to the group where Brock tells Nick and Craig that some people haven't returned yet. But wait a second, you see this guy? Wasn't he supposed to be here? Conspiracy theory, Jeffrey can teleport or clone himself? Haha, but all jokes aside, I noticed this after watching it one time, so I asked Chickenfilms, and he didn't even notice it, and told me it was a mistake. Furthermore, I think the episode is really on point. Even the comedy is just great.
Hey, hurry up, you slow ass snail.
Well, hey, I'm not a snail.
And I think this started off a war of who is the funniest. Just take a look.
So Nick, what's the plan for now? Killing this mutant apparently.
After a very funny comedy show, they catch 2 people that earlier got to the camp, which brought some extra spice into the series because you wanted to know who they are and what their intentions are. And we also get to see some more character development for Scott and Sam. After some mutant killing from Scott and Sam and Nick being a detective, we see the gang members again and we hear that the herd is on its way. Eventually, 2 gang members hear something and go investigate. Out of nowhere, one of the gang members dies and the other one is scared for his life. Now we see a hand and a gun. The gang member asks who he is, and the person walks on screen and has the most epic return ever. Mickey! He returned, although I really want to know where he was all the time. Now it ends with Craig and Nick having a good talk. Overall, I think this episode is really good. The tension from the herd and the attack from the gang makes you wonder what happens in the next episode. And the return of Nicky and the 2 strangers getting caught was a really good ending of the episode. Now for my top 3. The number 3 spot goes to episode 4, the mid-season finale. This episode was the first time the group fought back hard and had deadly consequences for some people. Okay, this episode starts off with Nick talking to the group and telling them they are still missing some people. And Nick goes away to find them. Boom! Movie magic! They found them. Nick meets up with Greg, Brock, Sharon, Sam and Thomas. They talk for a bit and now the group has 3 new members. And they're all SWAT. After this, we see Robbie and Otis again while they're in Storm. Which, let me just quickly say, I love these kinds of different lighting scenes. And they go to a gas station to find some supplies and a car. Even the end of the scene is great. I literally thought Otis was going to die. The group finds out they don't have a lot of ammo left. So the group restocks on ammo and guns that the SWAT have left.
Oh, I'm claiming the AK!
Now the group executes the plan and Nick talks to the gang. Now the rest of the group attacks the gang when they are distracted. Everyone starts shooting and a big fight breaks out. Some not so important gang members die and the fight continues. Eventually this comes in and locks Jim behind a fence. And now I can bet you no one saw it coming when Jim got eaten alive and died. Logan gets traumatized and leaves when he sees what happens. All because of this bitch. I'm pretty sure almost everyone and their mom hates Jason. So much so that I made a rage compilation of it. Enjoy.
Jason!
I will cut off your fingers!
You say anything like that again, and I'll stab your eyes out.
Don't let him escape!
Especially Jason. Oh, he's mine.
Get him!
I don't have a recording of my reaction to Jim's death, but I can assure you, no one was happy about it.
All around me are familiar faces.
Here we go. Number 2 is episode 5. This episode was great because it started off slow, and after the intro, we got a little summary of what happened in episode 4. You witness a pattern already? I love episodes that start off slow. Alright, so we see Sam and Alec take out some mutants and spot 2 strangers. These are the strangers that I earlier talked about, but now they get introduced in the series for the first time. For now they run off and leave Sam and Alec questioning who they are, and later the whole group too. After the intro, there's a little recap, and people raging at
Jason!
The episode moves slower, and there's even a little time jump from 3 weeks. The people from the group walk around in the camp and just rest for a bit. Scott, Sam and Craig talk about the gang and their worries about them not showing their faces. Sam comes up with an idea of checking out a police station nearby, and Scott also wants to go after he asks who wants to go too. Out of nowhere, a familiar voice says,
I will.
and we see Nick rock a sweet new hairstyle.
Nice.
Scott and the rest are surprised by his response, because he doesn't really show up a lot and probably faces some inner demons. With probably, I mean 100%. So now Sam, Scott and Nick go to the police station to check it out and talk about the people that they saw earlier and also some other things. When they move further in the police station, they found a police officer who is still alive. And no, don't get your hopes up. It's a rookie. At least he's acting like one. The officer doesn't really know what he's doing, so Nick shoots the mutant and helps the officer. He also tells him some stuff about surviving. The officer thanks him for saving his life and introduces himself. We learn that his name is Bob and that he's, well, a special case. Bob joins their mission, and when they want to move further, a lot of mutants show up, so they are forced to leave. Now they go back to the group and report what they found. We see some more talking and people becoming friends at the group. Now Kirk and Nick talk about the hurt they know about, and Nick suggested to send some people to investigate. Nick asks the group, and the new made trio goes on their way. Scott goes to Nick after the legendary trio is on a mission, and tells Nick he knows where the camp is, and that they should plan an attack. This triggers something in Nick, and he tells them that they're not gonna do it, and brings up what happened to Jim, and even talks about Logan and Kenneth. Scott didn't see this coming, and apologizes to Nick for bringing it up and feels guilty after. Sam now tells Scott that he shouldn't take it personal, and now we get to know that she followed the class about human behavior for a few years.
Wow.
And we're back with the legendary trio. Jared tells Alec and Jeffrey he can handle mutants alone, and Alec and Jeffrey watch closely. Jared absolutely obliterates the mutants, and the legendary trio talks some more. Jeffrey now sees some gang members and tells Jared and Alec this. Alec doesn't know who they are, but Jeffrey does and wants revenge for Jim. So now it's kinda like angel and devil. Alec being the angel and Jeffrey being the devil. Out of nowhere, Bernie shows up with Spark, who we haven't seen in a long time. He tells the trio that they are planning an attack and that they should turn around, but before they can, they get captured. This episode was so good because it just shows the real war has just begun, and like I said, it starts off slow. Of course, number 1 is episode 8, the season finale. I mean, first of all, it's way longer than the other episodes, so in that regard, it's kinda already destined to win. I mean, damn, almost 20 minutes. Like, that's so freaking long of an episode. I'm not going slow with a little summary this time, so let's speedrun it. It starts off with Nick visiting the grave of Jim and Kenneth and talking about how much he and the group misses them. We see the gang members prepare for a fight and Hawk asking Darren to join the fight. He refuses kindly and tells him he has other plans. Now Scott and Sam are stuck with a large group of mutants, but luckily they get saved by Bob, who sadly dies right after. Nick wants to tell Greg something important, but they are interrupted by the legendary trio, Bernie and Mickey, who warn them about the attack. Nick and Mickey also meet after a long time, so that was kinda cool to see. And they prepare for a big fight. Sam and Scott go inside, and Scott goes into a room when suddenly the door locks and he has to fight Darren, who wants revenge. Sam finally breaks open the door and helps Scott, who is kinda losing. Sam actually kicks Darren's ass and later teases Scott about it.
You sure are, bitch.
He is dead. Yeah, he is very dead. Meanwhile, the biggest gunfight ever breaks out, and after some time, we see
Jason!
And there's also a little fight between Greg and Hawk. This only happened because Hawk wanted it to be fair. The fight stops when Greg is held hostage, so the rest of the group needs to surrender. Now being the group, they surrender and all have to get on their knees to await the big leader of the gang. Wait, where have I seen this before? I hope the leader doesn't have a bat of some sort. After
Jason!
being annoyed again, we see the leader walking around the kneeling people. And now we see a guy whose name is Norman. And let me tell you, he's a prick. He shows some of his power by talking and everyone is silent.
Jason, give me my weapon, would you?
Oh please, not a bat. Not a bat. Oh thank God. Now Norman wants to kill someone and it almost happens before a big explosion comes and Logan shows up with his new friends. Now all hell breaks loose and the group absolutely wrecks the gang. Nick sees some of the gang members escaping to the police station, which is fully dark now. One of the gang members tells the other one that they should turn on the lights. Haha, only if he knew what stupid mistake he made.
Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation.
Oof, pretty sure he isn't moving anytime soon. Now Michael and Nick fight after Michael attacks Nick. Michael has gone in total lunatic mode, so he drives a table into Nick. Michael can kill Nick, but remembers his good friend Jordan and what he told him. So he apologizes. The fight continues, and now we see Hunter see Bernie in the state that he is in. He feels bad and doesn't actually want his friend to die. Bernie tells him it's okay and he was never evil. So after Bernie dies, Hunter joins the group. We even see Hawk's good side when he doesn't want his fellow people to die. All the people from the group that survived come together and that makes for a good ending to the season. Everyone forgives each other and they leave to find a new home. Copyright, copyright, copyright. So that was that, and that's why this is such a great episode. Or heck, even the whole season. He is as old as all the episodes from season 1 and 2 combined. And he made this all by himself. It's just so great. Little bonus. Damn, Hawk is honestly a very kind soul. So that's why I made a compilation of him being a kind and honorable dude.
What the f, man? Why did you do that?
But boss, they lost someone. Wait, let's keep them as hostages. Maybe the rest will surrender then. I'm in charge. We won't kill them now. Wanna repeat that? I'm in charge!
Wait, let him have a chance. 1v1. Yes boss.